Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marie Lozano, and I'm delighted to be your host for today. Welcome to the Cream Silk Condition for Greater Career Summit. We are also excited to have you here because the afternoon promises to be a very inspiring one, with various workshops and super informative sessions lined up for you. We've just entered a new year, which translates to all new goals and aspirations. And although the past year was undeniably a challenging one for many of us, we are here today because Cream Silk believes that each and every one of us has the opportunity to rise above our challenges and be greater than ever. Of course, this entails making new connections and learning new things to improve the skills you already have, as well as build new ones along the way. No matter what industry you're in, today, Cream Silk will help ensure that you gain relevant insights and the best advice from experts, renowned Filipinas who are ready to help you be conditioned for greater. To start the afternoon and give you a flavor of what's to come, let's all watch Cream Silk's latest film.
Life hasn't run out of things to throw at us. Challenges come one after another, keeping us from our dreams. When opportunities close, you can choose to give up, or you can choose to make your own way. Be greater than ever. Pursue your dreams. Never settle. Because good will never be enough. You're built for more.
I'm conditioned for greater.
Wasn't that inspiring? As mentioned in the film, when opportunities close, you can choose to give up or you can choose to make your own way. You can choose to be greater than ever and never settle. Cream Silk encourages every Filipino like you to be greater than ever and is committed to providing you with opportunities to make this possible. As you know, Cream Silk has partnered with Educacion.ph, the largest technology platform in the country, to offer Filipinas the Cream Silk Condition for Greater Online Academy. If you haven't checked it out yet, do so now at creamsilk.com.ph. You can sign up to join free online courses that are certified by Educacion.ph's partner hiring companies. We will share more details about this partnership later on, so make sure you stay to learn more about it. At this point, allow me to introduce to all of you our first and very special guest for this summit. She is truly an empowered Filipina who has gone through her fair share of challenges and struggles. We all know her journey as she pursued her dreams of representing the Philippines on the global stage. And with grace and confidence, she did exactly that when she was crowned Miss Universe in 2015. To officially welcome everyone on behalf of Cream Silk, let's all say hello to the beautiful Pia Wurtzbach.
Thank you, Marie, and a big thank you to everyone for joining us today. I have been with my Cream Silk family for many years now, and like Cream Silk, I believe that every Filipina has what it takes to be great. I have, in fact, always championed women empowerment, so this advocacy is truly in line with my personal mission. So today, I am grateful to be here to speak on behalf of a brand that has established quite a legacy of uplifting generations of Filipinas over the years. Cream Silk believes that the Filipina is conditioned for greater, and through the years, they have demonstrated this through purposeful campaigns that have enabled Filipinas to never settle and always be at their best. Today, this most trusted hair care brand is taking its commitment to empower the Filipina to another level. The past year has presented numerous struggles for all of us, and with the additional challenge of the recession caused by the pandemic, the Filipina has suffered setbacks and has never been more embattled. Some have even lost their jobs as a result of numerous layoffs and high unemployment rates. Knowing this, Cream Silk has taken the initiative to help Filipinas maximize their potential to reach their goals, dreams, and aspirations by helping them improve their skills, develop new ones, and find jobs and career paths in the process. Cream Silk firmly believes that with the right opportunities, the Filipina can bounce back and be greater than ever this 2021. Through Cream Silk's partnership with Educacion.ph, Filipinas like you can now opt to take any of the 3 one-hour certificate courses that are being offered for free at the Condition for Greater Online Academy. Now, I was able to check this myself. It's super easy to understand. It's only 1 hour and it's all for free. And I'm sure all of you will find this useful. Even I had a look and I want to take up the classes myself. These courses include Sales 101 by FWD Insurance, Communications 101 by 24/7 AI, and Project Management 101 by Cloud Staff. But guys, it doesn't end there. Once you are certified and you get your learning badge, you can actually get a job interview from Cream Silk's partner companies. All you need to do is upload your CV, resume, or bio data, and you're one step closer to getting that dream job or starting a career. Cream Silk wants the Filipina to forge their journey through greatness, and through the Condition for Greater Online Academy, commits to be with her every step of the way, whether it be through beautiful hair as she presents herself to others, or providing her with opportunities to be better than her best. I'm really excited about this. This is such a great initiative, guys. I hope you guys take this opportunity, and I hope you will all make the most out of what Cream Silk and its partners are offering you today. Stay on, listen, learn, and get inspired, and remember that you are conditioned for greater.
Thank you for sharing that, Pia. With the Philippines facing a recession in the wake of the global pandemic, helping Filipinas not just to get back on their feet, but rise to new heights is crucial. As Pia mentioned, we really hope that everyone will make the most out of the courses being offered by Cream Silk and its partners today. Again, we will learn more about these and how you can actually get an interview with the partner companies later on in the program. And should you have any questions or comments, please just use the chat box and we will do our best to address these. In fact, allow me to read some comments now before we continue. So we have here Carmela, and she says, "Thank you so much for being such a great role model, Pia. You inspire me." Oh, that's nice. And here's another one from Ange who says, "Thank you, Cream Silk, for this great opportunity. Gusto ko nang mag-sign up sa courses para makakuha ng interview." That's really good. Thank you for those comments, ladies. Keep on sending your comments and questions in, and we will try to read them and reply to them in the chat box. For now, it's time to move on to the next part of the summit. I have been looking forward to this because it's time for our keynote address. And for this very special segment, we have with us a most inspiring and accomplished Filipina. She is the co-founder and executive director of Mano Amiga Philippines. More than just an affordable, high-quality school for low-income communities, Mano Amiga serves as a complete development center, providing the students and their families with sustainable livelihood through Bistro Cafe's social enterprise, basic health services, values, formation, and other necessary support to help them build a better life. She is also the co-founder of She Talks Asia, a women's-centered media platform focused on educating, inspiring, and empowering females from all over the world. Please help me welcome Eleanor Rosa Pinugu, better known as Lynn to many of us.
One of the earliest lessons I learned when I was young is that the world is unfair. Some people were born with a lot, some people were born with less, and some people were born with almost nothing. And I learned this very early on because I come from a middle-class family, and my parents didn't earn a lot, but they believed in the power of education. So what they would do when I was young is that every weekend they'd go home to Bulacan, which is my mom's province, and they'd buy lots of butong pakwan. And then they'd repack it, and then they'd sell it on weekdays during their office mates, just so they have enough money to send my sister and I to a good school, but of course with high or expensive tuition fees. And I remember always asking my mom, I would ask her, why is it that my baon, it's always just rice and whatever we had for breakfast or whatever leftovers. And it's not like all the fancy snacks and gourmet food that my classmates would have. Every time it's April and it's my birthday, I'd always ask her, how come, I can't have birthday in these fast food restaurants with nice mascots? And like, we never celebrated my birthday. I think the only birthday we had was my 7th birthday, and then the rest, it's just always a simple salo-salo at home. And each time my mom would reply to me, she'd say, without any sadness or pity, she'd say, "Anak, this is all we have. This is all we have for now. This is all we can afford. But you have to work hard so that someday you can be whoever you want and you can buy and have whatever you want." And that really stuck to me as a child. More than the emphasis on working hard, my mom said two very important words: for now, which meant that whatever our present situation is, it's just temporary. And that, if a person is faced with a particular challenge, he also has the power to be able to change that. And so, yes, I learned early on that the world is unfair. But my mom also taught me that where you start in life shouldn't limit how far you should go. And so I focused on working hard. I really focused on having the discipline to study, even if I didn't like some of my subjects. And eventually, I was able to get into my dream university and to study communications because I wanted to be a journalist. And I was having so much fun. I was involved in several organizations in school. But then when I was in sophomore year, I got a call from my mom. And she told me that she had lost her job. And the thing is, our family business was also not doing so well. And she told me then that there might be a chance that I won't be able to finish school in the university I was enrolled in. Now, lucky for me, at the time, there was also a scholarship competition for students who are aspiring to be journalists. All you have to do is write an essay, and if you get selected, you get to study in the university for free. And I joined, and because I was very passionate about the topic, I think I was able to write a good essay. And so I won that scholarship, and I was able to finish my degree in my dream school. But something made an impression on me. I was one of the fortunate ones. I think that I was able to write well because I had a good education. But it got me thinking about the kids who also deserve a good education but may not necessarily have the foundational skills to do so. And that changed my career path. Instead of being a journalist, I decided that I wanted to be an educator instead. In 2008, when I was 23 years old, I co-founded a social enterprise called Mano Amiga Academy. And what it does is that it provides high-quality education to children from underprivileged families. And for us, we don't want tuition fees to be the reason why they can't go to school or why they can't receive a good education. So in Mano Amiga, 80% of our students are on scholarships. Now, as you remember, I wasn't an educator, right? I was a journalist. So I was really out of my comfort zone. But if there's something that's going for me, it's my why. Somebody decided to invest in my potential, which unlocked a lot of opportunities for me. So I'm going to do the same for others. So every night, I would go online and I would just research on different kinds of educational journals. Some of it I didn't really understand in the beginning, but the more I read, then the more I became familiar with the terms. And of course, I hired good team members. I hired teachers who are more experienced than I am. And even if I was their supervisor, I always valued their voice equal to my own. And so that became the Mano Amiga team. And from a kindergarten of only 35 students 13 years ago, now we have given over 2,000 scholarships to children from kinder until 10th grade. And in fact, next year, we're starting with our first batch of senior high school. And to me, that was just an example of, again, how not just hard work and not just grit, but really that desire to learn and constantly upskill yourself can lead to the path to greatness. But as what had happened to everybody, 2020 was very difficult. Even after 13 years of having a track record when it comes to the social enterprise and education space, it didn't spare us from getting badly hit last year. In April, 2 weeks after the lockdown, I started receiving calls from our donors and our partners saying that they need to reallocate or to redirect their funding for us. Some partners had to stop funding us completely because they were also hit, which meant that they had to prioritize their funding for supporting their own employees, while others felt that there were more urgent causes like helping provide PPEs for frontliners. And I remember just getting one call after the other in April of people withdrawing their support from us. By May, Mano Amiga lost to close to 12 million pesos. And I remembered not being able to go to bed because I was afraid that we were going to close down soon. And I just couldn't stop thinking about all the people counting on me, my employees who needed their livelihood at the time, but also the students and the parents whom we promised that if they enroll and trust Mano Amiga, then we'll be able to provide them the good education that they've always dreamed of. Now, what did we do after that? First of all, we gave ourselves time to mourn, just acknowledge the fact that we are going through something very difficult, that all the things that we were working on, all the plans of scaling up are now basically rendered irrelevant and not something that we can pursue in the near future. But after about 2 or 3 weeks of being unproductive, I decided to meet with every single member of my team. And I reminded them of what was it like for us when Mano Amiga was just beginning. Because at the start, we didn't even have working restrooms. I remember like our classes had to be just 2 hours because we had to go home immediately. Because again, we had no like running water in the school. And I told them, remember when it was this hard for us? Why don't we go back to what it is that we do best, which is learning, relearning, and unlearning. And that's what we did. First, we unlearned the things that we thought or the things that we were used to in terms of delivering a good education. We had a big campus, but that doesn't matter anymore because our kids couldn't go there. So we had to relearn how to teach. We sought out experts, teachers who have been doing online courses even before the pandemic. And we asked them to train us just so we understand what are the best practices that applies now in this new normal. And most importantly, we learned new skills. One of the first things I studied was to take this online course online on psychological first aid. And I felt that for me to be an effective manager, I needed to be able to be there. I needed to be able to empathize. I needed to be able to respond to the challenging situation and to the different circumstances of every employee. And that really paid off because I felt like that allowed me to hold space for my team while at the same time reminding them of our why, motivating them, and making sure that even amidst all the difficulties that we don't lose sight of our mission and why it's important for us to keep going. And I share these stories with you because I want to show you that, after 13 years and after achieving some success, I'm still not immune to failure or even just the fear of failure. And same goes for every person who is successful, because what sets a successful person apart from others is not that they don't face any challenges in life, but really how they respond to those challenges. When faced with a difficult situation, they can either choose to give up or they can sit through sit with the discomfort, sit with the pain, and decide to persevere through all of it. We often talk about how, we want to be successful someday or we want to be great someday. But greatness is not a destination. Greatness is not something static, right? Maybe you have it one day and then you don't have it the next, because greatness is something that happens every moment. It's choosing to show up as your best self, not just when things are easy, not just things when going your way, but choosing to show up as your best self even when things are hard. Privilege may give you a good head start in life, but at the end of the day, it's your character that will ultimately determine your fate. And I do want to congratulate each one of you here. Enough has been said about how difficult things were last year, but despite everything that we've lost, you chose to show up. You chose growth. You're here because you don't just want to learn new skills, but you want to focus on gaining a new perspective. Oftentimes people are afraid of challenges, but these are the moments that actually test who we are. They reveal our inner strength, and they become seeds for possibilities. Before I end, I want to share with you a story. One of the things that we do in Mano Amiga is that we have creative writing lessons for all levels, just to help them practice their skills. And during one session, we asked our students, what problem do you want to solve someday? And I remember getting a lot of nice responses. Some of the kids said that they want to be able to solve traffic. Some kids said that they want to be able to solve climate change. And one kid even said she wants to discover how to make plants happy, which I thought was really cute. But one thing really stood out for me. One of the responses came from Arielle. She was in 5th grade at the time, so about 11 years old. And she said that her dream is to build a hospital called Don't Be Afraid. And the reason for it is that Arielle had lost her younger sister to dengue months prior. And how it happened was her parents didn't immediately bring her younger sister to the hospital because her sister was afraid of needles and was afraid that she was going to get an injection. And so when they finally brought her to the health center, it was too late. So Arielle's dream is that she'll make this children's hospital that is colorful and fun so that no other kid will allow fear to stop them from getting better. And that really resonated with me because I think one misconception that people have about greatness is that people do it just out of sheer ambition, or people do it out of vanity, right? But the truth is, people pursue greatness or should pursue greatness because every person has a unique capacity to make a difference in the world. And the only way we can fulfill that mission, the only way we can make that unique contribution is if each one of us will choose greatness in every moment of our lives. Today, I want to highlight just how greatness is not something external, right? Greatness is something that already exists within all of us. If someone like Arielle, who's as young as 11, is already working towards greatness without even knowing what it is, then what more for us who've already had so much experience, whose resilience and determination was definitely tested last year. And we're here continuing that journey. So my wish for all of us is for each one of us to really choose greatness, to believe that we have it, for each one of us to embody it, and to always remember that we're all called for something bigger, so that we may always be motivated to work towards greatness and to inspire it in the people around us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey and showing us how we can all overcome challenges with purpose, resilience, grit, and grace, Lynn. It is definitely time to get conditioned for greater. So many comments are coming in again, and here's one that really stands out. Andy says, Lynn, your talk has fired me up. Now, I too believe that I can accomplish my goals in spite of difficult times. Maraming salamat, mag-enroll na ako sa mga course ng Cream Silk Academy. Wow, thank you for that, Andy. And as you can see, Cream Silk's partnership with Education.ph is proving to be relevant for Filipinas as they journey towards greatness. So for this next segment, let's learn more about Education.ph, the partner companies, and the courses they're offering for Filipinas. Let's welcome Grace David. She's the CEO of Education.ph.
Hi, Marie. Glad I could be here today.
Okay, so we're looking forward to learning more about Education and this purposeful partnership. Grace, tell us about it.
Education.ph is honored and very excited to continue working with Cream Silk to enable Filipinas to be conditioned for greater. Here at Education.ph, we have been working closely with schools, foundations, and corporations for insights on how to help the youth as they make decisions that lead to a fulfilling career and life. Last January 2020, we formally launched Cream Silk's Condition for Greater online academy, enabling everyone to have access to free courses from the top universities worldwide so that they have an opportunity to go for greater. But due to the challenges and setbacks that we faced the past year, we focused on curating courses that will hopefully help modern Filipinas land a job this 2021. With this landmark partnership, we will continue our mission to enable the Filipina to unlock new skills and start their journey to greatness. Our goal is to grow a platform that inspires exploration and self-improvement through everyday learning. And partnering with Cream Silk, a brand that has been catering to the needs of Filipinas, has helped us solve the problem that Filipinas face of not having the right skill sets to succeed in this new landscape and beyond. We did this by creating the most relevant courses that will allow users to learn and sharpen skills needed today. As part of the online academy, those who have signed up and completed a course will not only receive a certificate of completion, they can also submit their resumes or CVs, which will be sent to our partner hiring companies for a job interview and potential job. With that, I am pleased to announce our partner hiring companies who have curated this free online courses to help sharpen the skills of Filipinas: FWD Insurance, 24/7 AI, and Cloud Staff.
This is really such a great platform. Thank you so much, Grace. Shall we now listen to what the different partner companies are offering and what Filipinas can expect when they take the courses? We now have Vice President and Marketing Head Rosh Vandenberge of FW Insurance, Non-Asian Hiring Head Bambi Garcia Nang of 24/7 AI, and Customer Success Manager Mimi Ancheta from Cloud Staff to talk more about the different courses that they're offering.
Thank you, ladies. Hi, everyone. Excited to be here with all of you today. We've been Education.ph partners since 2017, and we both believe that we should make people feel more confident and empowered to make education decisions that will lead to a fulfilling career and life. In the case of Education.ph, for us here at FWD, to help Filipinas celebrate living and be confident because we got their back, so they can live their very best lives. At FWD, we're flying the flag for a new approach to an old industry, and that's because we're a different kind of insurance company. Led by customers, driven by technology, looking outwards at what people need rather than inwards at what the industries always offered. So we offer a new kind of insurance, It's easier to understand, easier to buy, and easier to claim. This isn't the way insurance usually feels, but we're not your usual insurance company. In the Sales 101 course, we will teach you how to build your career as an elite financial advisor. You will learn sales, strategies, and will find out why it is the best time to join the industry. This is a career path that's aspirational as it is rewarding. An exciting end-to-end digitalized experience, not just for you, but for the rest of the Filipinas too. More importantly, you're not just helping yourself to earn a living and be financially savvy, a life skill that is super relevant in this time and age. Last year showed us that you can never be prepared enough financially. We all felt and we are still feeling the impact of pandemic in our pockets. This is a noble profession that can save lives while securing yours against the blow of life's uncertainties. This Sales 101 course is for you. You can do it at your own time, at your own pace, face-to-face or digital. So join us as we aim to become a leading pan-Asian insurer that changes the way people feel about insurance. All you have to do is to go to the site, enroll, be certified and upload your CV. Upskill yourself so you can achieve your goals. Celebrate living and be conditioned for greater.
We faced a challenging year, but just like our partners at education.ph and Creamsilk, we believe that you can still be greater than ever. CloudStaff's mission is to deliver the best possible service and value to our customers around the world while providing our staff with a rich and rewarding career and an environment where they are respected and talents can flourish. We are committed to creating new and exciting careers for our staff, building great tools and services for our global client base, and developing innovative technologies that will shape the future of the outsourcing industry. While efficiency comes from understanding the people you are working with, we also want our staff to be equipped for their client journey. This is why we developed our Project Management 101 course so that work projects and tasks can be performed with ease and confidence. This free 1-hour online course was curated for all those who want to excel and better manage their projects remotely. Head on over to Condition for Greater Academy at creamsilk.com.ph. Sign up, try our courses, and learn how working in the cloud can make you more productive and conditioned for greater.
When the pandemic forced the world into hiding, we saw a lot of lives affected by the sudden change in our world. Businesses had to close, people lost their jobs, and many lost their source of income. Despite all these challenges, one industry really stood out among the rest, and that was the BPO industry. With more people staying at home, the demand for more associates and agents to cater to their needs increased. This meant more opportunities for those who lost their jobs and economical advantage for our country. Aside from our command of the English language, our resiliency as Filipinos, and our aim to get up right after a temporary setback was what really worked for us during this time. As a matter of fact, during this pandemic, we received various applications from former OFWs, those from other industries, educators, and some even students who had to put their education on hold to help out with the family expenses. Working in the BPO industry is not an easy task, but it's an industry that has proven the test of time and continually proves to be one of the most in-demand jobs in our country. As we slowly embrace the new normal, we at 24/7 AI continue to provide more opportunities for us Filipinos. As of the moment here at 24/7 AI, we are preparing for our peak season in the coming months, and we're seeing a boost in our hiring needs for customer service representatives and other non-agent or back office positions. So we urge you to take the free online course and grab the opportunity to work with us. You can also check out the Creamsilk Condition for Greater online academy on creamsilk.com.ph to sign up for our free online course, Communications 101, which is designed to help you improve with your communication skills and give you a confidence boost in communicating using the English language. It is a free 1-hour online course that we released during the height of the pandemic, which we made available to a wider range of audiences thanks to our partnership with Educacion.ph and Creamsilk. Whether you need a refresher course or you need help improving your English proficiency skills, we urge you to take advantage of this opportunity and take our Communications 101 course. Sign up at creamsilk.com.ph. It's free, all virtual, and something that you can do in the comforts of your own home.
Thank you, Grace, Rosh, Mimi, and Bambi. Those 3 courses are a great foundation for practically all industries out there. We invite everyone to check out creamsilk.com.ph to join these free online courses from the Condition for Greater Online Academy. Again, when you get your certificate and learning badge, you can upload your resume or CV to get a job interview, taking you one step closer to your dream job or career. We hope that at this point, we're all feeling energized by the different sessions we've had so far. Next up, we're hosting a panel discussion participated in by renowned Filipinas who are experts in their fields and who will share with us their journeys to greatness. So our first guest is proud Morena and content creator Ayin Bernos. She is the creator of Morena the Label, a clothing brand that celebrates brown skin, challenges colorism, and champions skin color positivity. She's also currently working on Ideology Studio, a print-on-demand platform for creators, communities, and causes. Working on Miranda the Label for the past year shows how statement merch could empower communities and drive important conversations online and offline. On top of that, she maintains Camp Confidence Radio with fellow entrepreneur Riza Lana. The podcast talks about women empowerment and self-love. Hi, Ayin.
Hi, Marie.
Okay, so next we have Arielle Escalante, a graduate from Ateneo de Manila University with an AB Communications degree. Arielle joined Fruit Magic in 2014 when she was just 22. Coming into a 27-year-old fruit shake family business, she was determined to modernize the brand by tapping into health trends and the growing purchasing power of millennials. Pure Nectar is now available in every nook and cranny of malls and other establishments with over 400 stores nationwide. Hi, Arielle.
Hi, Marie. Thank you again for having me.
It's nice to see you. Now, to round up our panel, we also have with us sisters Vern and Bernice and Ciso, who are 2 of the most respected and well-known content creators of the country today. Often mistaken as twins, they have been everywhere and have been the go-to inspirations of many Filipinas worldwide through their blog and social media accounts. They have been known to encourage their followers to see places around the world as they continuously share their positive vibes on the daily. They're also known entrepreneurs, and now the sisters have developed their own successful perfume line called VV & Co. Hi, Vern and Bernice. It's so nice to see you ladies.
Hi, Marie. We miss you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, I will chat with you guys later, but now let me start my questions with Ayin first. Can you share with us how you went from being a writer to a designer, an entrepreneur, and now a vlogger?
All right. So I've always been a hustler, and I've always told myself that if I want to learn something, that I can just Google it and learn it. And so that's what I've kind of done. I started out as a writer at a digital marketing agency, and then when I wanted to start my own clothing line, I kind of learned everything from there. So I taught myself Photoshop, I taught myself printing, etc., and that's how it's always been.
I like the name Miranda the Label. Now tell us how you started this.
Yeah, so I was vlogging since 2016. And my niche, I guess, is Morena Beauty. And when it came to a point where I wanted to start my own merch brand, I knew that it wasn't my name because it wasn't the thing that my community wanted. So I thought, okay, what do we all have in common? And so I decided to create statement merch for our community, for Morena the Label. And that's how it all started.
Okay, so I think this is something admirable, but there are a lot of challenges that came because of 2020. So tell us about how you went through this and how you pivoted your brand. How did you overcome all of the challenges?
So during lockdown, obviously we had to stop operations. We couldn't get our products out, and our products are not even essential in the first place. At least during that time, it wasn't considered to be essential. So it was definitely a difficult time for us. Our staff couldn't go to the office because transportation was difficult. So we had to figure out if we were going to go all in and invest in like a proper office because we're just a small business, or just give up the business entirely. And we decided to go all in and really work on it full time. And we've been surviving. I think we've been thriving thanks to social media and e-commerce. Yeah.
And you really have to push and really make yourself visible.
For sure.
Okay, so from one inspiring story to another, let's now find out how this entrepreneur created a brand of her own to revamp their family business. Hi, Arielle. Can you share with us how you converted to offering cold pressed juices from your family's fruit shake business?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Pure Nectar is actually from a Fruit Magic, which is a 27-year-old brand. It's from 1993. My dad is the president and CEO. And back in 2014, when I graduated college, I was temporarily employed by my dad. And he told me to just revamp and enhance the marketing strategies. And eventually, I found myself in all different departments. So I found myself in accounting, in sales, holding sales trainings, and even product and development. So, since I conceptualized Pure Nectar in 2014, I really made sure that I was on top of everything, overseeing every single department. And, 6 years later, we now have 400 branches nationwide and even global expansions in Singapore and Brunei.
Wow. So it seems like you really are a brainchild for innovation. But how did you innovate during a time like this, a health crisis, during the lockdown? How did you serve your customers?
Yeah, so we were forced to close for about 2 weeks back in March. And of course, we realized a huge loss of sales also. I laid out the pros and cons of continuing and fully operating the business. And of course, the pros weighed much more than the cons. I knew very well that e-commerce and online shopping was going to be huge. So I made sure we were ready for that. So I ran the numbers, I studied it well, and of course, I went for it. But, there were some remarkable indicators that, we were actually surviving. And these are like, one, people still kept messaging us, asking us if, we can still serve our products to them. And two, big brands actually approached us. They were asking us to manufacture juices for them, for their delivery, and for their menu also. And of course, apart from staying relevant in people's lives during the pandemic, we were also able to double our profits by cutting unnecessary overhead expenses. So, I've always believed that the best proof of concept will always be sales and profitability, and we got that during the lockdown. And to this date, I'm really happy to say that our e-commerce has grown by about 600% since 2019. And, it was such a huge eye-opener and convinced us all that we were in the right place at the right time with the right product. And, the whole team was just really motivated by that.
Wow. What's amazing is that I noticed the two of you really put your brands out there. You put yourselves out there. So the next panelists are also known for their in their field, but I'm interested to know how Vern and Vernice managed to roll with the changing times as longtime bloggers, now making a name in they're fashion bloggers, now they're full-time creators. How did you guys manage during this difficult time, Vern and Vernice?
Maria, I actually started in the industry about 11 years ago. I started 2009 with my very first blog post. And to be honest, it was just a personal diary back then. So maybe about 3 to 4 years later, when my sister and I merged our blogs, that's when it became a business, and it was such a surprise to us.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't at first, right? We were just really doing it as for passion. Like for me, I really love film and photography, and Vern loves to write. So it was really it was also a good balance because that's where everyone evolved to YouTube, to videos.
With YouTube, I was having a hard time at first. I think a lot of the bloggers who was in my batch, as you can say, we all had a hard time transitioning to YouTube, only because we're not used to being in front of a camera talking for hours and hours on end, because we're so used to just writing our feelings and what we really want to to
express
Yeah,
that day.
exactly.
But yeah, it was really hard at first, but even with TikTok, and it was so fast with how it
Yes.
changed to Instagram, to Twitter, and all of these other social
A lot
media
of
accounts.
social media.
But I think at the end of it, Bernice and I just really stuck to it by believing in how we can really express ourselves, our true selves. We didn't really pretend to be other
Yeah,
people. I
exactly.
think that's how we managed to stay in the business for 11 years. So that's what I think is a good way for, like, a good advice for people who want to be content creators and to transition into full-time business.
Yeah, but you guys went from blogging to vlogging. Now you're entrepreneurs. Like, how do you constantly innovate yourselves? And what drives it for you to keep on changing and like adding to your repertoire?
I guess just like what we said with our business, our perfume business, we're also big fans of perfumes.
We really stuck to what we love and know. And I think in this time where everyone has a platform for them to express themselves, I think it's best to just really stick to what you know. It's good to explore and learn new things, but when you really stick to your core and to what you love, it will really be such a fun and easy thing to do.
Okay, that's a really good tip. And there's so many inspiring stories to hear from your humble beginnings. Now we have some questions coming in from the viewers. Now for Ayin, what are your future plans for Miranda the label? Are you planning to expand this business or introduce more designs or clothing?
Yeah, for sure. So Morena the label, more than just a merch brand, is really an online community of Morenas. So all the feedback that we get from them is kind of what we implement into the business. So right now we're focusing on clothing, more statement merch, other kinds that we can add. But hopefully down the line we can expand that further. But whatever our community says, that's our number one priority for sure.
Okay. Now for Arielle, what are your future plans for the business? Do you want to expand and introduce another brand?
Yeah, well, definitely expansions provincially and globally is definitely in our plans. But more than that, it's also having a stronger digital presence, because that's what's really driving the business right now. And since the 2020, it was such a, again, huge eye opener. So we're working on more like great content wherein we can not only educate the people about the products, but also educate them about health in general. And of course, one of the bigger plans for the future is to become the go-to juice solution for every customer, and of course, every brand out there willing to partner with us.
Yeah, and health and wellness is such a big thing right now, so it's the perfect time for it.
Yeah.
Okay, for Vern and Bernice, what are your future plans for your business? What's next for you guys? You're always cooking up something new and doing something different.
Thanks for asking that, Marie. Just wanted to tell you that it's a blessing in disguise that e-commerce is such a big thing right now. Before, we actually planned to have a flagship store, but thankfully we really focus online. And I think that's where just expand our, maybe internationally, ship internationally as well. We're also cooking up new products with
hopefully we can push through this year with our collaboration, because that's really the core of BB & Co. And I think with BB & Co, it was such a hard year for everyone in the business last year, but hopefully everyone can really recover this year.
Yes. Coming from that, let's talk about the challenges. Ayin, can you tell us about the challenges that you faced as a brand?
Well, I started out as a really small brand. I was a solo entrepreneur for about 1.5 years. And I learned that even though I am alone in running the business, storytelling can really take you places, especially leveraging social media to grow the business really empowered me as a solo entrepreneur. So building Morena the label, our Instagram page, getting information from our customers, getting their feedback, and sharing their stories as well. I think that is the most important part, like focusing on telling their stories and allowing them to be part of that experience allowed me to grow it. And I learned that I should always just be focusing on them, for sure.
Okay, so Arielle, you come from a long family business, a long line of it's 27 years. it was a gutsy decision to move out of it. What did you learn in that process in building your own brand?
You know, I have always there's this quote that really stuck to me like a long time back, and it's nothing is ever as terrible as it seems, and nothing is ever as great as it seems. And you know, this has applied to me in so many different things consistently for the past 6 years of managing all my businesses. You get a really horrible customer complaint, or you get rejected for a brand. You know, all these things seem terrible at that specific moment. But if you take a step back, you just, you know, things actually do work out. And the philosophy also works the other way around. When you win a really big client and you open up a franchise store in a international country or in a provincial city, it always just ends up, you know, they can also turn out to be overstating how big it is. And through the years, I've learned how to find my center and stay in the middle of these two philosophies so that I don't get overwhelmed and I get to stay calm. Because as a leader, you really have to learn how to stay calm, especially that people are looking up to you for guidance.
Okay, you guys are so young, yet you have so much wisdom. It's so wonderful to hear from you guys. Now, let's talk to Vern and Vernice. You guys used to travel a lot, and that was the content that you used to make. But during the lockdown, I saw you innovate and just make content from home. Now, do you see this as something you're doing? What are your plans as content creators now that we're all stuck at home or we're in quarantine still? Tell us about what's coming up next.
This is actually going to be a big transition because Vern's going to be settling in Cebu, and everyone was always so used to VNV.
Even
Like
us, we're so used to it. Yeah, that's why it was so difficult for us at the start of quarantine because we were so used to throwing each other ideas off that it was like, what do I do now without my sister by my side?
and
But
vice versa.
that was the biggest challenge, but also a big blessing because it really forced us to be ourselves, right?
Yeah,
It was
it
to be
really-
ourselves more. And I'm just very lucky that the husband that I married is actually comfy now in front of a camera. So I have someone to, do vlogs with in Cebu. But I think with my sister, I'm really confident that she can really do it on her own.
Wow, hopefully,
Yeah,
Vern.
because
But
she's really creative on her. She's really the creative brainchild behind B&B.
But it's so funny, Marie. Like prior to this, I was really going through like a quarter life crisis. And I think during the pandemic, it really helped me like take a pause and really, realize what really matters. And I also got to rediscover myself.
Yeah.
Because I was always used to always being with Vern. And I think the time alone made me realize a lot of things. So yeah, I can't wait. Hopefully what Vern said will come true.
Yeah.
We'll try to
Yeah, and as for doing it for the rest of our lives, as long as our readers who've been with us for the past 11 years would be there to watch whatever we do, we'll still try to innovate and be creative as much as we can.
Yeah, it really pushes you to be creative, and I like how the real you came out. The two of you guys, when you were away from each other, it really just came out. And what people want to know now, as content creators that people look up to, what are your helpful tips for other Filipinas that want to do just exactly what you're doing?
As for me, my tip is really just strike while the iron is hot. As all our the panelists now said, that now is the time to really be online and get your brand out there. You just have to do it. Make sure that you have make sure to, express your voice that you have and be yourself, because honestly I've always believed that every person has their own audience waiting for them. So social media, as much as it's hard, it's easy to see, it's hard work, but once you just really be yourself, it will be so much easier.
In relation to that, because a lot of we get pressured to be someone else because we watch so much creators, and like
Whoever,
sometimes it shapes us, but sometimes for me, like as Veronica said, just always be yourself. When we showed our true self, actually that's when
I think we also became happy. I think as content creators, a lot of the people who would be watching this, even just be on social media, it's so hard for anyone to be on it mentally because you feel like you're being pressured to really keep up with so much things all at the same time. But honestly, if you just focus on the little space that you have online and just really be grateful of the audience that you have and be contented with that, then you'll be so much happier.
You know what? We can have a whole panel discussion just about this. And I really like this topic about being more authentic and just bringing out the real you. But I want to ask one last question for all you guys. How will you encourage your fellow Filipinas to never settle and aim for greatness?
I guess I'll start.
Any of you guys, Ian or Arielle, Vernon, Vernice?
I can start. I think for me, I think we live in a very interesting time. We have the internet, and the internet is empowering. I call it the great equalizer, because again, we can teach ourselves anything. If we have access to the internet, if we have access to all of these social media platforms, then we also have access to so many educational resources. And like I said a while ago, everything that I know about my business currently, I learned it because I heavily Googled it. And if you want to achieve something, if anyone wants to achieve something, the first step is to look it up and start. And I think if everyone knows that they can make things happen because the tools are available, then anything is possible.
Arielle?
Yeah. Well, for me, I think how crazy the pandemic has been for all of us. It kind of gave me hope because I know we'll all come out of this as better people. And, I think I learned a very important human aspect that we may have forgotten pre-pandemic. And it's just caring more about everybody around us, like our employees, our customers, our family, our friends, and of course, ourselves. Because I too wouldn't be where I am without my brand or without my mentors and my solid support group on the side. And my biggest advice, and I think this goes out to everybody, whether you're a business person or you're employed for a company, I think it's just really to never give up and don't get overwhelmed, because when you get overwhelmed, you also get anxious. You don't get to think straight. So you kind of have to always find your center and stay calm, because when you can think better, you can decide better also. And with that, like with such a clear mind, I think that's the biggest learnings that I have had in the past year, that when you're so calm and you're so collected, you can think so much better than when you're so nervous. Yeah. So yeah, I hope everybody finds their light, not at the end of all of this, but amidst all of this.
And Vernon, Vernice?
Oh, that's nice. But in relation to that, Vernon and I always believe in the saying, like, don't be scared, be excited, right, Vern? We always believe in that. Like, always look at the bright and positive side, even if, you're going through something, you can always learn through all the problems. And
yeah, but for me, I think for my advice is to not listen to outside noise. Just really focus on yourself and your self growth, especially for people who want to be content creators. It's easy to be distracted by so much voices around you discouraging you to start your own vlog, to start your own Instagram page, or start your own business, like Bernice said. But just don't listen to it and just really focus on what you think will get you forward and to get you to your dreams.
Okay, so ladies, that was an amazing panel discussion. Thank you so much for your inspiring stories. I hope everyone watching are inspired also as the same time as you inspired me. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, Marie.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
See you around. See you online. I'll watch your stories and like your posts. Thank you, ladies. I can't help but agree with your sentiments. No matter what struggles we're going through, we always have the choice to rise to the challenge, reach our goals, and go for greater. To everyone watching today, this is your chance to do just that by signing up at creamsilk.com.ph to join free online courses at the Creamsilk Condition for Greater Online Academy. For the last few months, we've all been staying at home safely. The pandemic encouraged us to use social media not just to communicate with our loved ones and friends, but also for online shopping and even to develop online businesses. In fact, a lot of businesses have shifted to the digital marketplace. For those of you planning to start a business, you've come to the right place. To give us an introduction on how things work online, please tune into this quick course by Facebook for a background on digital marketing and social media.
Hi everyone, hi ladies. I hope you're all doing well and are staying safe. Welcome to the Facebook module, which we're calling Boost Your Business with Facebook. I'm Cams. I'm a client partner at Facebook Philippines. And essentially what I do is I work closely with brands, with agencies and businesses like yours to consult them, to guide them on how they can maximize the use of our tools and solutions at Facebook to maximize the success of their digital marketing strategies. Now, in the next 30 to 40 minutes, I hope to condense all of these best practices, all of these learnings that we normally share with our clients to share with you. We'll cover a couple of different topics, starting off with some shifts that we've observed on consumer behavior specifically brought about by the pandemic. So we all know this, I'm sure you're observing this as well in your day-to-day lives, that the pandemic truly changed the way we now live, right? It has shifted the way consumers behave. And of course, this has an implication to you, business owners or folks who are hoping to start a business today. Now, what we'll do immediately after sharing some insights is to share with you guys a step-by-step process on how you could create your business presence on our platform. We'll share with you how you could create a Facebook business page and then follow it up with some tips on how you could best communicate with your customers. And then we'll share a little bit more about how you could manage and measure the success of your page. And finally, to the more advanced folks in this room, to those who already have a Facebook page, you'll be happy to note that we will also be sharing some practical guidance on how you can scale the success of your business presence at Facebook with our advertising tools and solutions. Now with that, let's kick it off first by discussing the consumer behavior shifts. These are unprecedented times. I'm sure you heard of this line so many times in the last few months. Personally, I never really used the word unprecedented before pandemic, but we truly are at unprecedented times. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that I would be asked by the government to stay at home to keep myself and my family safe from harm. But this is the world that we're living in today. It's a world where we try to be cautious of which commute route we're going to take, right? And if there's an opportunity for us to work at home, then we try as much as possible to just stay at home, right? Before, we wouldn't really think about whether or not the place that we're going to is going to be crowded. But now that's definitely something that we always keep in mind every time we step out of our house. And then, for example, face mask and face shield. These are items that we never really cared for, but now these are some of the most precious items, first few items that you would try to hoard, even for some folks when they're in the grocery or in the pharmacy, right? I think the pandemic definitely shook the world, but what we're also realizing is that in the last few months, we're seeing that people are now slowly adjusting their daily lives to accommodate this new normal. And this is also seen in the global surveys we've done recently. Among the people we've surveyed globally, 94% have actually shared that they changed their behavior because of the COVID-19 outbreak. What's more interesting is that there are some points in these shifts in their consumer behavior that are actually here to stay. One of it is the insight around how people have rapidly embraced new digital connections. Now, when the pandemic started, I'm sure you felt this too. There was this urge to still stay connected with your family, with your communities. And because we couldn't really do that, given the lockdown measures that were in place, we then relied heavily on digital to be able to stay connected with family and friends. I saw this personally in my own household. My mom, who's a senior citizen, who was never really a fan of digital before, all of a sudden always had her mobile phone with her 24/7. It was her way to stay connected with her amigas, with her friends. They did really interesting birthday celebrations over messaging platforms like Messenger. And then, for example, I saw her almost on a daily basis connecting with my niece via Messenger as well, playing around with AR filters to just stay in check, right? To keep each other posted of how they're surviving during these times. So it's quite interesting and paradoxical if you think about it, that even if we were all asked to stay, to practice social distancing, most of us found ourselves even more socially connected than ever before. And a big reason for that really is because of the digital platforms. We saw during this time period that consumers also increased their media consumption. So again, just reinforcing that insight that people wanted to stay connected to their communities as much as possible. We saw this in the increase of people watching more streaming services. So they still wanted to make sure that they were up to date with what the rest of the world was watching, right? We also saw an increase in time spent on media platforms like Facebook, and also time spent on messaging services like Messenger. As mentioned earlier, in our own platforms, we saw this phenomenon. Messaging has increased more than 50% across Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger since the pandemic hit. Now, aside from how people started embracing digital connections, we also saw that consumers were shifting more and more towards online shopping. We saw a 32% increase on online shopping activities across all markets. And I'm sure you would agree with this, right? Now we see people selling and buying fruits, vegetables over messaging platform, which pre-pandemic, pre-COVID was probably something that you wouldn't think would become a phenomenon, right? And so what we're saying here is that because of the shifts in the consumer behaviors that were brought about by the pandemic, there is now an opportunity and really a need for businesses to shift the way they do things as well. If you are a brick and mortar business, it's about time that you now start creating a digital presence. Or if you're hoping to launch a new business, it's now time that you maybe think first of how to create your online presence before moving to an offline activation for your brand. Right? And we are here to help you out with that. Now more than ever, it is crucial that businesses, big and small, meet their customers where they truly are. In store, but in this case, we're seeing that it's also happening off store, specifically in digital platforms. Now, we have the tools and capabilities to give you the ability to reach family, friends, but as well as your customers. Even before the pandemic hit, we already were very much connected to small businesses. About 1.6 billion people on Facebook were connected to a small business around the world. In fact, 2/3 of the Facebook users across all countries surveyed say that they visit the page of a local business at least once a week. And even more interesting, specific to messaging platforms like Messenger, we saw that there were about 8 billion messages that were sent between people and business every month. Now, the Philippines is actually a big messenger capital. So this stat is even more relevant for us than anyone else, than anywhere else rather. Now you're probably thinking, yes, I know, I understand that because there have been major shifts in the consumer behaviors that I need to get on digital, but how do I do this? So in the next section, I will actually be sharing with you the step-by-step process on how you could create a business presence on Facebook, and we'll also be highlighting what's important for you to think about at each stage. Okay, so the next step is for you to create a Facebook business page. Now, some folks think that it's okay to just stick with a Facebook profile page, and technically you can do this. Our recommendation is to actually create another page separate from your profile page. The profile page is really meant for you to connect with your family, with your friends, and then your business page is meant to serve a much wider audience, right? You want to be able to introduce your brand, what you do, the products that you have to a much more public audience. And so our recommendation is treat those two things separate. And it's quite easy to create a Facebook business page. All you really need is to have a Facebook profile page, and then everything else should be quite straightforward. And we'll go through that in a bit. Now, along with a business page, you can also create or join a Facebook group, right? Business groups provide small businesses with an intimate setting to build a community around your business and engage with your customers. For example, one of my favorite online sellers is a retailer that sells plants on Facebook. What he does is he uses this page to introduce the products that he has, all of the different plants in his assortment, their prices, where he sources them, and then he also created the group for some of his most loyal customers to share some tips and tricks on how to keep them healthy, how to keep them alive. Right? So my suggestion is, if you are a brand, a business that's hoping to create a community around your products and services, you might want to try out this feature, Facebook groups. All right. So given all of that, let's start building your Facebook business page. As mentioned earlier, it's quite easy. You just need to start off with a Facebook profile page. And then what you'll do is you'll actually click on the button at the upper right hand side with an arrow pointing downwards. When you click on this, click on message pages and then click on create a page. And then you'll be given a prompt to pick what kind of page you're creating, right? Are you creating a page for a business or brand, or are you creating for a community or public figure? So click on the one that's most relevant to you, and then start filling out the information needed. It will require to give your page a page name. So our suggestion here is, of course, use your business name. And then it will ask you to identify the category of your business. The goal here is to find the category that most relates to your business. Are you a restaurant? Are you a department store, right? Are you a service provider, right? The closest you are to the category, the templates and features that you'll then get are going to be most relevant to you. So after you complete that, it will ask you a little bit more information about your business, your address, your phone number. The goal here is to share as much information about your business as possible, so that we also have more information to work with to surface your business to the right people searching for businesses on our platform. And then after you complete that, you can then start adding graphics, some visuals to your page. Your page is supposed to be your business card, right? Your storefront on the Facebook platform. So you want to make sure that the graphics and images that you choose truly reflects what your brand is all about. So you start off first with a profile picture, and then you'll also be asked for a cover photo. So again, take advantage of these two assets to really pick images that truly embody who you are, your brand mission, your business objectives, right? Usually pages with profile pictures and cover photos actually tend to get more likes and visits. So don't take this for granted, and really take your time to pick the right photos that represent your business. All right. So after you complete that, you then officially will have a Facebook business page. But that's not enough to really amplify the success of it, right? You need to build your Facebook online presence. And my first tip on this is to give all of the information that you can to help your consumers find you and connect with you better. So earlier you were asked to give some basic information about your business, your addresses, your website. My suggestion is take time to complete the About tab to share a little bit more about your business. For example, you have a physical location, you might want to share the store hours, right? If on holidays you're not available, mention it there. Aside from this, you might also want to take advantage of templates and tabs. So earlier, you identified the category that most relates to your business. Now that is important because it will then reflect the kind of template that is most suited for you. So for example, you said that you were a retail shop. You then will be prompted to use the shopping template. And with the shopping template, it will open up call to action, some specific look and feel templates that best resonates with a shopping business, right? So once you've chosen that, all you have to do is apply template. Call to action, I mentioned earlier. Call to action are buttons on your business page that make it easier for your customers to take action right from your page. Again, as mentioned earlier, you will be given as default call to action buttons that are most related to the category that you pick. So in this case, if you picked that you were a shopping retailer, that will probably prompt you to choose shop now. But as always, you could customize this and edit it if you see fit. There are a lot of call to action buttons to choose from get direction, shop now, message, learn more, really depending on what your objective is for your customers on your business page. Another important thing to note is that you could assign page roles for your business page. We know as a business owner that you are very busy and may not have time to manage your business page in addition to everything that has to get done to keep your business running. So you might be working with a team. And if you are, you might wanna assign specific roles to people so that they can help you run your page. So for example, an admin role has access to everything. An admin can manage content, assign roles, post, analyze page metrics, advertise, and even more. An editor, for example, can do everything that an admin can, except the fact that he cannot assign page roles and also look at your settings. An advertiser role, for example, can do things that are only relevant to advertising page. So the point here is that take advantage of page roles, which you can find in settings, right? To assign different access permissions to members of your team. All right. And then finally, one last feature that you might want to take advantage of is actually creating events. At this point, maybe we don't have a lot of offline events, but you could actually use this feature to create online events, right? So once you've created your Facebook business page, maybe you want to host a Facebook live session where you want to share a little bit more about yourself, your business, and the products that you serve. Create an event, very simple. Choose a photo that best identifies that can best embody and share a little bit more about who your business is. All about what is the event name, the location, the description, and then you could actually also create multiple events in one go. So if you're hoping to do this on a monthly basis, maybe you want to create a monthly connect. So for example, the plant seller that I mentioned earlier has actually created a monthly event where he gets together some of his most loyal customers to just share more about their plant parenting journey, right? And then publish. As simple as that. Then I would suggest that you spread the word about your event. So you could share this directly with some of your followers, some of your family, your friends that are following your page. But you could also assign a co-host. So for example, if you are working with multiple business, you might want to share this with them so that they can also share it with their community. Very simple. There will be a field in the Events tab that allows you to add pages and friends as co-hosts, and then after you've assigned it, after you've written their email address or actually inputted their names, that's it. You now have co-hosts for your events. Now, once in a while, you will see notifications on page tips to improve your page at the right-hand side. Again, don't take these for granted. These are tips that will help you build your audience, share more effective content, and more, right? So just once in a while, take a look at this, click on it to learn more about what these tips are all about. So now that you have a Facebook business page and you've started exploring our native tools and solutions to build up your presence on our platform, it's now time to think about your communication strategy. And the first thing that you need to do is to come up with a content plan. It can start out very simple, just with text posts, but eventually we do encourage you to try out more immersive, more engaging formats like a video post or a photo post to increase the chances of people checking out your posts and checking out your business page. In Facebook, we do have a concept called thumb stopping. And essentially what that means is that you've created a post that's so engaging that it actually stops the thumbs of your target audiences from moving on to the next post in their feed, right? So that's always the goal. Your goal is to create thumb-stopping posts that truly captures and engages your audience and causes them not only to read your post, but to even drive them to want to learn more about your business by checking out your business page. Now, another communication tool that you should take advantage of is Messenger. Messenger is a great free tool that allows you to conveniently reach out and respond to your customers, whether it's to answer customer service related questions or to provide information about product availability. There are a lot of really interesting features on a Messenger, and we do encourage you to check it out. If you go to your inbox, you'll see all of the different features of Messenger in there. One of my favorites is instant reply. Instant replies are sent automatically to people who message your page for the first time. So you could customize this to make them feel more welcome or to make them get a better sense of who your brand is just from your first message sent out to them. Another really interesting feature is away message. It's perfect for those hours when you're not online, but you still want to be able to respond quickly to your customers, right? So essentially, away message, the way it works is that you first identify the time slots when you are away, when you're not available on Facebook, and then you could create a message. You could customize a message to be sent out when people do reach out to you during these time slots. And then lastly, one really great communication tool and one that has really gained popularity in the last few months is actually Facebook Live Video. It's perfect for you to share a little bit more about your brand using your own voice, right? It's a great way for them to get a better sense of your brand personality, of how your business essentially works. In some cases, some online businesses have used it to even do actual selling. This has become very popular in the Philippines, even where people who are interested in the products that are being sold online comment mine or comment HM po, where the sellers take this as an indication that these folks are interested in the products and then takes that conversation to Messenger to complete the transaction and to finalize all of the logistical details. Right? So take advantage of all of these communication tools on Messenger, on your page directly, via your post, and of course, Facebook Live. In this section, we'll discuss some ways to track the performance of your business page to ensure that you are making the most of your efforts. One of the most important tabs in your Facebook business page is the Insights tab. When you click on this, you'll see a number of really interesting stats on how your business page has been performing. For me, a quick view of your overview section should already give you some guidance on how your business page has been performing in terms of engagement with your target audience. It'll share some really interesting information like how many page views you've had, new likes, how many people you've reached with your post, and more. Another really interesting section here will be the people section. The people section of Insights will tell you who is engaging with your business page on Facebook. You can see things here like the age, gender, locations, and even the language of the people who are interacting with your page. Now, all of this information will be very helpful in creating your content strategy and later on in creating your advertising strategy. Now, everything we just talked about in terms of your business page could be set up right from your phone with the Facebook Business Suite app. To install this, just go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store to be able to download this app for free.
Thank you to Facebook for that very helpful video. I hope you've all learned something from that, especially if you're aspiring to start an online business. We have another important learning session coming up, so stay tuned. Now, let's say you've sent in your resume and you've actually booked an interview. What's next? You need to prepare so you can do your interview very well. We're all fortunate today because Bambi Garcia Nang from 24/7 AI is here to share some very helpful tips on how to ace your interview. Let's welcome back Bambi. Hi Bambi!
Hi Marie, hello everyone.
Okay, so can you now share with us your expert advice on acing that very, very important interview?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So my first tip is to research. As job seekers, wouldn't it be nice to leave a good impression to your interviewer? So go the extra mile. Never settle for less because you were made for greater. Research on the company you're applying to and just show them how interested you are to be part of their team. You don't have to memorize facts or know every single detail. Just make sure you know the basic information about the company you want to be part of and the position that you are applying for. This will show how much you want a job and how much you value the possibility of becoming a part of their team.
Okay, that's really helpful, Bambi, but can you give us tips on how we can improve our resume?
Sure. So when you build your resume, remember to keep it simple, concise, and accurate. Make sure that you highlight your best skills, you showcase your notable projects or achievements that is related to the position, and make sure that your contact information is accurate and error-free. So don't forget to include as well or mention the certificate you've earned from Creamsilk's Condition for Greater Online Academy. Upskilling yourself by taking courses related to the career you wish to pursue will show how determined you are to grow and learn in the industry you wish to enter, and that's very appealing to interviewers as well.
Okay, I wish I had all of these tips when I was applying for my job before, but
Me
can
too.
you tell us? The hardest part is the job interview. How can they prepare for this?
All right. So questions like tell me something about yourself or how do you see yourself in 5 years seems like a scary question, but are in fact very common and telling of how well you communicate and how you perceive yourself. So the secret to acing these kinds of questions is just to keep practicing. Reflect on your strengths, your weaknesses, and also your past experiences. From there, build your outline, formulate your answers, and practice until you know it by heart. The more you practice, the more empowered, sincere, and confident you will be. Just like that modern Filipina we know you are, who's built for greater with Creamsilk.
Okay, how else can we improve our interview?
Of course, the next one is to ask questions. If you want to know about how a certain company handled the pandemic situation, or maybe you're curious about how they kept their employees engaged despite the challenges in working from home, whatever your worries are or curiosities, just ask. There's nothing wrong with asking as long as it's done in the right manner and also for the right reasons. Asking questions empower you to prepare for the job and enables you to know which of your strengths you can highlight and also weaknesses you can watch out for. In short, you can come into the job with the right expectations and overall in an even greater position as a new hire.
Okay, I know it's hard, but we're doing this online now as compared to how we used to do it before. But how do you give a bit of confidence when you do this? How do you show confidence?
Yeah, you can wear light makeup and styling your hairstyle will easily give you that boost you need for an important day. But you can spell success without using the letter C. And that stands for confidence because it's powered by Creamsilk's Condition for Greater Online Academy courses. You are conditioned for greatness and you are made for that position. Believe in yourself and also your capabilities. As they say, you only have one shot in life, so you have to make every opportunity worthwhile.
Okay, so what else? What else do we need to do? These are all helpful, but what else can you add to that?
Maybe my last tip would be to be very prepared. Come prepared when you are to enter an interview. So now that we're still stuck in a pandemic, most job interviews are now done virtually from the comfort of our own homes. But it doesn't give us an excuse not to prepare, right? Before an interview, just make sure that you're physically, emotionally, and mentally prepared to face your interviewer. So get lots of rest, clear your mind from distracting thoughts, and make sure you have a strong and stable internet connection. So if your interviewer requires you to be on video, make sure you're in a decent, quiet, and distraction-free place. Dress and look the part, and present the best version of yourself. Most importantly, before coming into the interview, remember that you are a modern Filipina who is conditioned for greater and supported by a brand that cares for you, Cream Silk.
I like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow, time flies, and just like that, we've come to the end of such an informative and inspiring afternoon. I myself have learned a lot from all our accomplished guests. It was really lovely to be surrounded by such amazing and empowered Filipinas. One of the key things I picked up this afternoon is be greater than ever and never settle, because Filipinas are conditioned for greater. Thank you to all our guest speakers, Miss Universe 2015 Pia Wurtzbach, our keynote speaker Lynn Pinubu, panelists Arielle Escalante, Ain Bernos, and Vernon Bernice Enciso. It was such a great honor to hear from our friends from Educacion.ph, FWD Insurance, 24/7 AI, and Cloud Staff too. And of course, a big thank you to everyone who joined us today. Please do check out the Condition for Greater Online Academy for online courses for business women, creatives, and storytellers alike. Again, these courses are 100% free and certified. And thanks to Cream Silk and its partner hiring companies, when you finish the course, you get certified. You will score a job interview with one of the partner companies too. So go for it, ladies, and remember, you are conditioned for greater. This has been Marie Lozano. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and thank you.
Life hasn't run out of things to throw at us. Challenges come one after another, keeping us from our dreams. When opportunities close, you can choose to give up, or you can choose to make your own way. Be greater than ever. Pursue your dreams. Never settle. Because good will never be enough. You're built for more.
I'm conditioned for greater.